Capital Views is sponsored by North Rim Bank, Alaska Oil and Gas Association, ConocoPhillips, and Linden.
Hi, I'm Tim Bradner with Alaska Legislative Digest, and welcome to Capitol Views. And a special welcome today to Representative Robyn Burke of D-Utqiaġvik on District 40 on the North Slope. Robyn, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Robyn, you are newly elected to represent the North Slope. District 40 is a huge district running from the Canadian border all the way to the Kotzebue area. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the district. How big it is, how many communities there are, how big they are, what the population is. Just to describe House District 40 for us.
Yeah, thank you. So House District 40 is the second largest district in Alaska. Again, like you said, going all the way from the the Canadian border all the way. I think it was described as being the size of the country of Germany while I was on the campaign trail. We have two regional communities, two regional hubs. So the North Slope and the Northwest Arctic. On the North Slope, the regional hub is D-Utqiaġvik, and then in the Northwest Arctic, it's in Kotzebue. And there are lots of differences between both of the two different regions. I think we are also the only House district that has two hub communities. And so it's an interesting dynamic to be able to have the opportunity to serve population, this size. And in one end of the district, we have Prudhoe Bay and the oil and gas. And the other end of the district, we have the Red Dog Mine. And so, population-wise, I probably can't give you 100% specifics. I'm definitely more familiar with the North Slope, but I am constantly learning every day.
Robyn, could you just tell us a little about yourself, what you've done, your background?
Yeah, so I got into this role. I decided to run after serving on the North Slope Borough School District Board of Education for the last 4 years. I was the school board president the last 2 years. I also served on the AASB Board of Directors, so did a lot of advocacy for education funding, mental health, and teacher recruitment and retention. I also served on the D-Utqiaġvik College Board of Trustees. D-Utqiaġvik College is the only tribal college in Alaska, and as well as on the Voice of the Arctic Inupiat, and in other capacities. My background is in human resources, and prior to serving on the school board, I was the director of human resources for the North Slope Borough School District, and so spent a lot of time in recruitment and retention. Aside from that, and I'm a mom, and I have a 5- and 6-year-old son and daughter, and have been really passionate in working in education and cultural education. One of my, I think, greatest accomplishments on the school board was we restarted the immersion program that was in existence when I was in school. And so that I would say that's probably my greatest accomplishment there.
And the immersion program is speaking Inupiat in school, learning in Inupiat.
Correct.
And what grades does it cover?
Currently, it's K3, K4, and K5, but the plan is to add a grade every year.
Interesting. The languages are being lost very rapidly, and I think the North Slope has been very active in trying to reinforce the Alaska Native languages up there, to be commendable. Are there other things like that the school district is doing that reinforce local subsistence values or local culture?
Yeah, I think that the North Slope Borough School District, and I'm speaking specifically to them because that's where I just came from. You know, they have the D-Utqiaġvik learning framework. There was a book that was just published outlining the process, and they have the pedagogy. So they have the how, and now they have the what, and now they have the how to implement it. We also have culture-based units that were created to the standard, but that teaches students in a way that incorporates the culture. You know, in our schools, we teach, you know, North Slope history and science. We teach North Slope government. We also teach things like INCSA at an age-appropriate level in the elementary, middle school, and high school level. And so it really just enforcing that, teaching our students, you know, how we became what we became, and about our former leaders.
And Robyn, I presume you're from the district. You're born there.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in D-Utqiaġvik.
I spent some time up there in my younger years when it was named Barrow, and a very interesting transformation. The name seems to have taken off, though. People are used to it and use it and very proud of it.
Yeah, my grandmother taught the D-Utqiaġvik language for 41 years, and so she was very passionate and a big advocate for changing the name back to D-Utqiaġvik. I think that, you know, when it was being heard at the city council level, she was there to testify whenever it was heard. So big advocate for using D-Utqiaġvik. And I know that when people say it and they can't say it 100% right, I still encourage people to try.
Like myself. Just out of curiosity, what was your grandmother's name?
D-Utqiaġvik.
Yeah. Well, I knew some people from the family back when I was there. But you know, by necessity, running for office, you have to travel widely in the district. So, how would you describe the differences between Northwest, you know, the Northwest Arctic end of the borough and the North Slope? Anything?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So the logistics of traveling, you know, from D-Utqiaġvik to the Northwest Arctic, unless there's one flight a week that goes from D-Utqiaġvik to Point Hope, and that's on a Thursday. So unless I timed it exactly right, I could fly into Point Hope and then fly from Point Hope to Kotzebue. And then from Kotzebue, I can get to the rest. Otherwise, I would have to fly down to Anchorage, then fly back up to Kotzebue, and then get to the other communities. So I think I traveled while campaigning to the region 4 times. I really tried to get there as much as I could and get to know people and hear about what their priorities were. You know, and I think in general, speaking with people, you know, it's critical infrastructure, it's energy, cost of energy, the cost of living in the Northwest Arctic, the public safety, lack of emergency services, and those kinds of things were what I heard the most of in the Northwest Arctic. Just, you know, the amount of resources that they have there. But while campaigning, I was able to get to, so of course, Point Hope, and then Point Hope is a part of the North Slope Borough, but Kotzebue, Noatak, and Norvik. I did have one more trip planned right at the end of the campaign season, and then the storm happened in Kotzebue, which so I wasn't able to reach Kayana, Kivalina, Shungnak, and Selawik. But it's I mean, it's a quite large district, and there aren't typical accommodations in a lot of the communities, and so a lot of the trips that I had planned were to fly in the morning and fly out in the afternoon, which makes it difficult. But the welcome that I received in places like Noatak, where my family, my ancestral, I have ancestral ties to that community because my great grandfather was a reindeer herder, and came from the Northwest Arctic to D-Utqiaġvik. And so when any community that I went to, once we started making those connections, I received a lot of people telling me, welcome home. So it
Well,
was really nice.
that's great. Just the, I mean, just the logistics of getting around just kind of wears you out. Makes me feel tired. Very, very challenging. Well, Robyn, thank you for joining us. It's
Yeah.
been interesting, and hopefully we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.